you may be one of many people who's struggling and dreading Christmas. I have been where you are when I lost my husband about 7.5 years ago, and I was facing my first Christmas on my own. I didn't know how I was going to get through it. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have any practical support. Yes, people, tell you to honor your loved one, to maybe try new traditions, but nobody tells you about the physical impact of grief. And that's where I'm trying to fill the gap. Because grief doesn't only affect your emotions and your mind, it affects the whole body. And the whole stress, emotional stress that we're going through is also impacting our digestive system. And when that's impacted, then we have to be more careful about what and when we eat. So I have just published a book that can help with this physical impact of grief that will also have an impact on how you navigate all the emotional triggers, how you are going to respond to holiday triggers, and how well you're going to be able to set boundaries for yourself. Say no when people offer you a glass of wine, or offer you a second helping, or invite you to a party you don't really feel like going to. There's tips, very practical tips about all these situations in my book, Nourishing Through Loss. Because I have been there myself, and I am actually still going through it myself. I'm now in Vienna, and there's Christmas markets everywhere. People invite me to come and have a punch, a mulled wine with them at the Christmas market. And of course I'm not going to say no to an invitation to meet my friends. But I'm not going to have 2 or 3 mugs of mulled wine. I'm going to choose wisely, because I want to not just experience one Christmas market. There are Christmas markets everywhere, and they're so magical. I want to go to as many as possible. And the mug of mulled wine can be quite medicinal when it's prepared not with too much sugar and with the right herbs and spices. And that's again, something that I put in my cookbook and survival guide. A recipe for a very medicinal mulled wine. So it's all about balance, that you just don't go overboard with saying yes to all the invitations, or yes to every mug of mulled wine, or yes to every late dinner. And even late dinners can be managed better, easier for your digestive system when you know a few tricks. And mindful eating comes to mind as the first step, like chewing really well, taking your time over every bite, because it will help with breaking down the food if you start breaking it down in your mouth. That's where digestion starts. And you may also find that you don't need a second helping, that you're actually feeling really satisfied and full with the first portion. And then you need to choose, like, am I going for a second helping, like me the other day, to be polite? But is it going to help you? Now, I'm 7 years into this journey, and I can make more exceptions. I can more easily overeat without having a digestive upset. But when we are recently bereaved, it's so important to go easy on your digestion, to maybe not have a second helping, to be able to say no. Really look out for yourself, because nobody else is. Because people don't understand the physical impact of grief. And maybe you didn't understand it before seeing this video either. So, and there's also other things that we can do to help our digestive system. after a late night heavy meal. And one of the things that it's easy for everybody to do, I hope, is to go for a walk. So I really suggest you don't sit down after a late night heavy meal, but you try to get up and go outside, even if it's cold. Just wander around for 5 to 10 minutes at least, and make sure that your meal has a chance to go down before you go to bed. So there's very simple things that can help us, digest our meal better, so that we don't have indigestion, so that we sleep better, get up earlier in the morning, don't feel groggy and not in the mood for getting up, lethargic in the morning, and start the day on the right foot with a mug of ginger tea if we're still, feeling the effects of this late night heavy dinner. Then it's better to skip breakfast altogether, but have a mug of ginger tea so that your body gets the signal, or she's not, skipping breakfast altogether. This mug actually stands in for that breakfast you would normally have. And then see how you're feeling at lunchtime. So go easy on yourself when you don't feel hungry after having been invited to a social event where you have maybe eaten a little bit too much. It's okay, it's all about balance, but then we need to address the imbalance straight away, right? So that our moods and emotions and also our weight stays more stable. Because that's my main issue nowadays, is not keeping my mood and emotions more stable, but keeping my weight stable. Because I noticed that when I make too many exceptions to my 80-20 rule, which is, stick to a regular meal time 80% of the time and go with the flow for 20% of the time. So when I go more with the 20% too often, I gain weight. So I easily gain weight when I make too many exceptions. So whenever I can, I make my usual breakfast, my stewed apples with some millet, and have my main meal at lunchtime. So every time when you are invited, when you're going to a Christmas market, when you're having a social, when you're invited to a Christmas party, make a conscious choice and decision. And then whenever you can, have more balancing meals again, energy and mood boosting meals. And my book is full of such recipes that will help with keeping your mood, emotions, energy, and also your weight more stable during the holidays. So with this, I wish you a very peaceful Christmas. I hope that you're going to get through it as best as you can, and that if you get my book, it's going to help you prepare yourself better for the coming season, and that you feel better supported through it. There's a lot of practical grief resources available through my website, and I hope you will make good use of them. Take good care of yourselves. Bye for now.